In this week's Parsha, Yosef does something to his brothers which perhaps gets us a little bit nervous. And in the superficial reading, we could ask ourselves, why would Yosef do this? What am I referring to? I'm referring to how Yosef, someone who plays out this act of teasing his brothers. He knows who they are. And yet he's playing this game of not revealing himself as to who he really is. And letting them suffer and be in pain of playing this game. Who's being killed, who's being held here, who's going back, where's your father, bring them here. Well, what's Yosef trying to accomplish? We're talking about Yosef HaTzadik. So my Zayder Ibn Nissen Alpert, he explains, he says that in Yosef's dream it said V'hine anachnu ma'almim alumin, that there was an arvus, there was a connection between all of them. They were all bundled together. They were all bundles together. And Yosef was wondering, where's this part of the dream that we're all in it together? When Yosef held Shimon, no one made protests. No one made machaz or hafganot, any demonstrations as to what are you doing to our brother? And it wasn't enough. And he said he had to prolong this in order to gain this achdus, until he finally said, I want Binyamin. And then when he wanted Binyamin, and Yaakov refused to let him down, because he said, oh, look what happened to Rachel on the way. Look what happened to my son Yosef on the way. I'm not interested in anything happening to my Binyamin. And Yehuda said, I'm going to get up. I will take responsibility. I'm going to be his guarantor. I'll make sure that Binyamin returned safely. And then only then Yaakov acquiesced and he let Binyamin go down with Yehuda. And then finally when he gets there and Yosef starts playing some shtick, he couldn't hold himself back anymore. Because when he saw Yehuda stand up for his brother in such a way, he said, this is the achdus I was waiting for. This is the arvus that Klal Yisrael stands for. This was the key of the fulfillment of the dream, at a time, as some have described, as perhaps the greatest crisis facing Yidden today, is this lack of arvus for each other. How we're much quicker to put down our Yidden, talk derogatorily about them, be critical about other people, other groups. But instead, at times of Mashiach, we're looking for the exact opposite. The Yetzer Hara might be strong. We're battling, we're flailing about, we're treading water in our own lives, so it's harder. We're not feeling positive about ourselves to be positive and forgive other people. But that's the test. We have to be like Yehuda, rise up, Anochi Arvenu, we're going to take Arvas, we're going to be guaranteeing the lives and the quality of them, of our fellow brethren and our fellow brothers, our Yidden. And when HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees the achrayus, the responsibility, and the assurance that each one gives for the other, and we have a certain zusammenkeit, an achdus, a connection between, a camaraderie between all of us, one of guaranteeing the livelihood, the safety, the health of each other, the ruchnius, the spirituality of each other. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, that's the achdus I've been waiting for. And now I can bring Mashiach. Let's hope that as the Rebbeinu Shalom, as we work, take our steps towards getting closer to each other, looking past our differences, looking for ways to connect and to help enhance and guarantee for the safe being of each other, our friends' lives. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will look the same for ours and say, Yomer letzaras seinu dai, and say, end to our tzaras, and bring the Geula Shlema b'mhera b'yameinu. Shabbos.